Australian academic Timothy Weeks has been named as one of the two men released by the Taliban in a prisoner swap.
The 50-year-old had been held captive for 3 years alongside an American colleague. Christy Kulcher joins us live now. Christy, how has Mr Weeks' family responded?
Mr Weeks' family is obviously overjoyed with his release, but they've asked for privacy as they and Tim come to terms with the whole ordeal. They have, however, released a statement in which they said, "Our family is overjoyed that Tim has been released after more than 3 years in captivity. We're grateful for the efforts of the Australian government in securing Tim's release. We would like to thank the United States government for their significant role it played in securing Tim's freedom." The 50-year-old English teacher from Wagga Wagga in the New South Wales Riverina had been arrested at gunpoint with an American colleague, Kevin, in Kabul, where they'd been working at the American university back in 2016. In the first few months of his imprisonment, he had released a video begging then Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull to help secure his release, but that was unsuccessful. Both men now are finally free, though. They've been handed over to US authorities, traded for 3 Taliban prisoners that were released by the Afghan government. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has weighed in, saying he's happy with the news. In a statement, he said, "We convey deep appreciation to the governments of the United States and Afghanistan. We're profoundly pleased and relieved Australian Tim Weeks and his US colleague Kevin King, who were held hostage since August 2016, have been released by their kidnappers. We convey deep appreciation to the governments of the United States and Afghanistan." It's understood that the men would be flown from Afghanistan to Germany, where the US military has a base at Stuttgart.
Christy, thank you.
Weeks and his colleague Kevin King had been working at the American University of Kabul when they were abducted at gunpoint in 2016. Now both of them are finally free, handed over to US authorities in exchange for 3 Taliban prisoners being released by the Afghan government. Prime Minister Scott Morrison says he's happy about the news, stating, "We are profoundly pleased and relieved Australian Tim Weeks and his US colleague Kevin King, who were held hostage since August 2016, have been released by their kidnappers. We convey deep appreciation to the governments of the United States and Afghanistan." 5 months after the abduction, Mr Weeks appeared in an emotional hostage video. But since then, little is known about the 3 years the men spent in captivity. Previous rescue missions to save the pair were unsuccessful. Charlotte Mortlock, Sky News.
Meanwhile, Tim Weeks' family has released a statement as they come to terms with his ordeal. "Our family is overjoyed that Tim has been released after more than 3 years in captivity. We are grateful for the efforts of the Australian government in securing Tim's release. We would like to thank the United States government for the significant role it played in securing Tim's freedom and acknowledge the important contribution of the government of Afghanistan. We thank our friends and extended family for their love and support over the past 3 years during this very difficult time. While we understand the intense public interest, we do not want to comment further. We ask that the media respects both ours and Tim's privacy. It is important Tim now be given the time and space to come to terms with his experience."